G7 members joint for growth and stability. Foreign ministers welcomed their growing engagement and the fact that G7 members now as ASEAN strategic, dialogue, or development partners following the confirmation of the UK as a dialogue partner earlier this year. Cambodia celebrates 29th anniversary of Angkor Wat's induction into UNESCO World Heritage List. Cambodia's leader, Prime Minister Hun Sen, extended a congratulatory message on the 29th anniversary of the country's iconic Angkor Wat's inscription as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. TV series of Mr. Hun Sen's life story launched. The launch party for the dramatic retelling of Prime Minister Hun Sen's life The Sun Under the Full Moon took place yesterday in the presence of Mr. Hun Sen, his 4 children, and many movie stars at the headquarters of the Prime Minister's bodyguard unit in Tak Mau City, Kandal Province. Kem Sokha trial set to resume on January 22 after 2 years of delay. The trial of former CNRP President Kem Sokha is slated to resume at the Phnom Penh Municipal Court on January 22 next year. CNHP thumbprint bearers summoned to Municipal Court. The Phnom Penh Municipal Court has summoned 2 activists of the unrecognized opposition Cambodian National Heart Party, CNHP, following a complaint made by the Interior Ministry alleging the party used fraudulent thumbprints in its membership list. CP tacitly recruits councillor candidates. For 4 years it has been inactive, but now the Candlelight Party is still recruiting councillor candidates to participate in the upcoming commune elections. Omicron, a possible threat to Cambodian and ASEAN trade recovery. As ASEAN's member states, including Cambodia, gears up for the resurgence of their pandemic-stricken economy, the emergence of the new COVID-19 variant, Omicron, may pose a threat to the long-awaited recovery. Arrival of COVID-19 vaccines further accelerates semblance of normal. The arrival of an additional 300,000 doses of the Sinovac vaccine yesterday will further accelerate the government's initiative to get almost all people in Cambodia to be double vaccinated and get their booster shots. Ride It for Essentials, RIFE, contributes $30,000 in kind to 3 organizations. More than 130 cyclists from different countries took part in a charity bike ride that was staged to raise funds for non-government organizations, NGOs, working with orphans and other less fortunate children in Cambodia. Cambodia New Year's health measures announced. The Tourism Ministry on Friday announced health measures for New Year Eve December 31 and International New Year's Day January 1, as people are expected to travel across the country. Primary students to take on extra classes to restore learning abilities. After almost 2 years of school closures, students in rural provincial primary schools have suffered irrefutable negative effects on their education, with parents expressing concern and asking authorities to restore the pupils' abilities to the levels that would have been reached in happier, pre-pandemic times. Battambang City on path to be a smart city. Battambang City is set to be a smart city in the near future, with various infrastructure projects going on in the capital of Battambang Province. Cambodia, among most vulnerable countries to climate change. As scientists are calling for the rollback on industries that threaten to increase greenhouse gases and raise the global temperature, countries vulnerable to the effects of climate change are being battered by its effects. Cooperation between Cambodia and Thailand sees 200 Cambodian workers enter Thailand. The test run for the migrant worker cooperation between officials of Battambang and Chanthaburi, Thailand continues, with 200 Cambodian workers entering Thailand for work legally. Thai police vow not to allow opposition groups to use Thai territory against Cambodian government. Lieutenant General Virak Chisameta, Deputy Commissioner General of the Thai National Police, promised and committed to prevent any activities of opposition groups acting against the royal government Cambodia. Cambodians second highest among 97,060 migrant workers infected with COVID-19 in Thailand. Thailand has reported that some 97,060 migrant workers from Cambodia, Laos, and Myanmar were infected with COVID-19 between March of last year and August this year. Of these, approximately 4,202 were under the age of 18. Fears over emergence of Omicron variant of SARS-CoV-2 may start another exodus of Cambodians from Thailand. Thailand has stepped up patrols along its border with Cambodia to be on the lookout for illegal Cambodian migrant workers trying to slip back into Cambodia over fears of contracting the Omicron variant. Limited period of fare-free travel on new Sihanoukville Expressway when completed. Although the fare on the Phnom Penh Sihanoukville Expressway has not been set, it may be possible that travel on the expressway for a limited period of time, 1 week to a month, could be without any charges. Locals lead adaptation efforts in drought-stricken Cambodian forests. Locally led adaptation is fighting rainfall variability and unsustainable practices across a number of community-protected areas in Cambodia. Cambodia cold snap continues. Put on your winter coats and wrap up warm. Cambodia's cold snap is forecast to continue with temperatures in some areas reaching 16 degrees. District Library in Banteay Meanchey inaugurated. Social Affairs, Veterans and Youth Rehabilitation Minister Vong Sorth inaugurated a library in Phnom Srok District in Banteay Meanchey Province on Monday. Japan supports Persat water supply expansion project. The government of Japan has supported a water supply expansion project in Persat Province with a grant aid of approximately $21.9 million. Interns leave for Israel in batches. Cambodian students to gain new skills, techniques, and experience as they leave in batches for Israel to do their internship in the agriculture sector. Some 82,000 landmines and UXOs destroyed in first 11 months. Cambodian Mine Action Center, CMAC, destroyed 82,138 landmines and UXOs in the first 11 months of this year. Prahok season in full swing. Cambodians are starting to buy prahok and far-ak fish this week, while the fishermen have only 6 days to haul in their catch. Families leave unsafe French colonial homes. As the deadline approaches today, 16 families in Kampong Chnang City have agreed to leave their French colonial buildings amid safety concerns after asking authorities to rebuild their houses. 1 shot dead, 10 arrested in drug bust. Police who got wind of drug production at a jam manufacturing company in Kampong Speu Province stormed into the building on Sunday, arresting 10 men, and a foreigner was shot dead following a car chase. Supreme Court upholds Taiwanese man's 25-year sentence over drug trafficking. Supreme Court on Monday upheld a 25-year sentence of a Taiwanese man convicted of trafficking nearly 7 kilograms of methamphetamines from Sihanoukville to stock at his rent house in Phnom Penh. Dispute over pagoda in Japan to be resolved with mediation. Kandal Provincial Deputy Governor Tang Meng Lin led a mediation yesterday between Venerable Po Yui Metta and Tycoon Sin Chanheng over issues regarding a Khmer pagoda in Japan. New drug-free village policy trial shows promise. Deputy Secretary General of the National Authority for Combating Drugs, Lieutenant General Neek Uthia, expressed his appreciation for the efforts of the village chiefs and commune chiefs in Pre Viha and Stung Treng provinces who have been educating teenagers and other people to avoid drug use. Nearly 500 substandard trucks fined $75,000. Pre-Sihanouk provincial authorities confirmed that in the first 11 months of this year, nearly 500 trucks below required standards in Sihanoukville port were fined some $75,000. Woman admits paying godson to kill her husband. A woman and her godson yesterday admitted in the Phnom Penh Court of Appeal that they did kill a man in October 2016 and all they want is a lesser sentence and not a life sentence. Pagodas, dining and residential halls razed to the ground in fire. A fire happened in a pagoda in one of Mondulkiri's districts and burned down the dining and residential halls.